Intuitive Movement 101, Level 1. So we had our O's with our hands connected, and we started learning about breath and the importance of breath and why we want to consciously breathe through our noses, slowly inhaling, slowly exhaling, because it communicates to our nervous systems on a very fundamental level that we are safe. Also, we're slowly filtering the air as it goes through our noses. So the more slowly that we're getting the air in, the easier, well, the more efficiently our noses can do their jobs at filtering out the muck that's coming in, and the more oxygen we can absorb. And that's great. And then with the full exhale out, we're getting out more carbon dioxide. So getting in more oxygen, getting out carbon dioxide helps to run an efficient vessel. And now we are at level 1. In level 1, we're maintaining contact with our bodies. This is giving us a sense of proprioception. We get a sense of, this is where my body is in space. This is where I am in space. And we're also getting continuous feelings. A lot of times we don't know what's going on in our bodies until somebody touches us. As a massage therapist for 17 years, that's something that I learned. So many people said, oh, wow, I didn't even know that was there. Because it isn't until someone comes along and touches it that we realize that it's there. But honestly, if we just touch ourselves, we might realize that it's there. We're not in the habit of touching our bodies for the sake of assessment, for one. And also, what's neat about level 1, I mean, we're doing assessment, we're checking in. That is what assessment is checking in. We're feeling what's going on. In the process of feeling what's going on and feeling our bodies, we're getting a sense of where our bodies are in space. And as I'm moving my arms and hands around my body, I'm getting mobilized, I'm getting stretched. I'm moving my bodies in ways that we don't usually move our bodies. Well, maybe when we're in the shower. And we don't have to do level 1 the whole time. We can mix in some level O, which gives us an opportunity to stretch. We can use O hands to do some squeezing work. And this is an opportunity to practice more of that breath work. So when we take the inhale, and then press on the exhale. Release on the inhale, press on the exhale. Come up on the inhale, press on the exhale. So anytime that you're applying force, you apply force on the exhale. Why do we want to apply force on the exhale? Because that helps support our bodies as we're moving through space. As we think about the dynamics of breath, and when we inhale, our diaphragm is expanded out. All these muscles are expanded out. When we exhale, everything's coming in. So as everything's coming in, it's helping to provide greater support. So if we're having to do heavy lifting, anything that applies force, if we inhale and then apply whatever force we need to do on the exhale, then we're protecting our spines as we're doing that through just the dynamics of how our muscles are squeezing in to get the air out of our bodies, for one. And we get more force. We're able to get more power out of our motion when we exhale into the movement. Try it. See how it feels differently if you push against a wall on the inhale versus pushing against a wall on the exhale. Or if you have a buddy in the household that you can have contact with, try it against each other and see the differences. Now, while we're doing level 1, we can do very gentle, brief contact with our fingertips, or we can take the time to massage our bodies. Self-massage is important. It helps our bodies know what's going on, but on top of that, we're training our hands to massage. By massaging ourselves, we're training our fingertips to register pressure and to give pressure. So that way, if we have family members or loved ones or friends, people that we can contact, and they are in discomfort, we can give them a massage, or even if they're not in discomfort. Physical touch releases endorphins. A good way to combat depression is through massage therapy. Why? Because physical touch releases endorphins. It releases oxytocin. It helps us feel good. And you don't have to necessarily go to a trained massage therapist to get loving, nurturing touch. You can get that from your friends and family. It's just about consent and respect. And paying attention and recognizing that everybody's different. Everybody has different needs. Everybody perceives pressure differently. The information that's coming into my body is going to be perceived differently from my body than it is by your body. And keep that in mind. That's why we have to communicate our needs to each other, because everyone's different. Now, how does that tie in to breath? Well, if we don't communicate our needs, we are very likely to be in a state of restriction, constriction, and shallow breathing. Why? Because we are fighting the desire to say no when we said yes. And we said yes, and then we have to justify all the reasons that we said yes. And then we have to suppress our frustration at ourselves for saying yes. And all of this, that all requires a lot of energy. And throughout all of those mental gymnastics, the body takes all of these mental gymnastics as a sign that one is in trouble. One is in a state of distress. And if we're in a state of distress, what happens? Our body's protective mode engages, and all the things happen. Our perception skews, and it becomes a feedback loop. So, one of the ways that we can break those loops when we're kind of stuck in our heads in a moment is breathe. Shake it off. We're mammals, and as such, we require motion. It helps us process out energy, especially tension. If you notice animals shake after the danger has passed, it's the same thing with us. If we don't shake off physically, then our bodies aren't aware that the danger has passed, and they stay looking for danger. And they will find danger because it is the nature of the world. There's always, our opinion is going to find all sorts of things to be wrong so that we can say that it's wrong. And it being wrong, it justifies and it makes us right to be in a state of distress. But we can choose to be in a state of eustress, chosen challenge state, which helps our bodies recover more quickly to distress. And that's part of what we're doing with this practice. We're doing something that we haven't done before. That's a challenge. We're learning things about ourselves in the process. And we're practicing our breathing, and the awareness of where our feet are, and our core support, and our posture. As we're practicing this level 1, which is self-massage, and being grateful for our bodies and appreciating our vessels, because they allow us to experience life, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, preferable or not preferable, practical or impractical. Here we are. And that in itself is worth appreciating. So here we are. And here we are, and here we are, and here we are. Intuitive Movement 101, Level 1. I'll see y'all next week. Practice Level 0 and Level 1. Practice your breathing. Review the other videos if you want to review the other foundations. Everything's pretty short and quick. Set a timer. Don't put on music. Don't put on music. I want you to pay attention to your environment. I want you to get attuned to the sounds that are around you as you're moving. Hopefully by the end of the week, you can practice Level 0 and Level 1 with your eyes closed and really listen into things. And then And then after you've done level 0 and level 1 with your eyes closed, go ahead and put on some music and see what that's like. And you will be pleasantly surprised, I'm sure. All right, great. Thanks. See y'all next week. Intuitive Movement 101.